The sun hung high over Elmridge High School, casting long shadows across the weathered red brick building. American and Texas flags fluttered gently over the entrance, their colors bright against the clear blue sky. The parking lot was already packed. Parents in pressed shirts, younger siblings clutching handmade signs, grandparents fanning themselves in the late spring heat. Graduation day had arrived, and the small Texas town had turned out in full force. No one noticed the black Dodge Charger pulling in near the chain-link fence. Inside the car, Marcus Holloway took a slow breath, his hands resting on the steering wheel. The deep blue of his Marine uniform stood out against the worn leather seats, the fabric crisp, the creases sharp. His boots, polished to a mirror shine, weren't for show, just a habit from years of discipline, of never doing anything halfway. He glanced around. The school looked like any other in rural Texas, solid, unassuming, a place where Friday night football was religion and everyone knew their neighbors. He had driven 8 hours from Fort Worth to be here. He could have flown, but the Charger had been his wife's favorite car. Even 2 years after her passing, the open roads still made him feel closer to her. Marcus reached into the glove compartment and pulled out a small, worn photograph. The edges were frayed, a tiny tear in one corner. His wife, Elena, holding their son, Daniel, when he was just a baby. He traced the image with his thumb before slipping it into the inside pocket of his jacket. The walk to the entrance was slow, deliberate. Every step carried the weight of years, of missed birthdays, of late-night phone calls from overseas, of the quiet understanding that came with service. His chest tightened with something between pride and grief, but he kept his expression steady. Inside, the gymnasium buzzed with energy. Metal chairs filled the floor, the bleachers packed to capacity. The air smelled of popcorn and floor wax, the chatter of families rising and falling like waves. Marcus handed his ticket to a volunteer, a short man with a clipboard and a headset, who barely glanced at it before pointing toward the third row on the left. As he made his way down the aisle, he caught the glances. The double takes at his uniform, the hushed whispers. A woman offered a small smile before turning away. He was used to it. Being black, tall, and in uniform meant some looks carried weight, while others were just curiosity. He didn't react. He'd learned long ago that stillness spoke louder than words. He found his seat, a flimsy plastic chair, and sat, adjusting without complaint. The stage was set, banners proclaiming Class of 2024 in bold silver letters. School officials milled about, checking notes, adjusting microphones. His eyes scanned the rows of students lining the far wall. 18 years old, lanky, with his mother's sharp eyes and easy smile. Marcus remembered holding him the night he was born, still in uniform, dirt from a training exercise still under his nails. He'd flown in from Okinawa on 4 days leave, barely making it in time. Now, here they were. The ceremony began. The crowd rose as pomp and circumstance played. Marcus stood, shoulders squared, arms at his sides. The national anthem followed. Hands went over hearts. Marcus didn't move. He didn't need to. His entire presence was a silent salute. He thought of Elena, how she would have cried through the whole thing, how she would have fussed over Daniel's tie, smoothing it 3 times before letting him leave the house. Then, as the last note faded, 2 uniformed security guards started down the aisle, straight toward him. The guards, Harlan's security badges on their chests, moved with purpose. One was broad-shouldered, his expression tight. The other, taller, chewed gum like he'd rather be anywhere else. Marcus noticed them immediately but didn't flinch. "Excuse me, sir," the shorter one said, leaning down. "We're going to need you to come with us." Marcus turned his head slowly. "Is there a problem?" The taller one stepped in. "Yeah, this section's for family of graduates." Marcus pulled out his ticket. "This is my seat, 3rd row, left side, family seating." The guard didn't look at it. "We got told it's full." Marcus didn't blink. "It was full when I sat down too. You want to tell me who gave that order?" The taller guard shifted. "Look, it's not a big deal. There's seats in the back." Marcus's voice dropped, calm but firm. "I drove 8 hours to watch my son walk across that stage. I'll be sitting right here." A few heads turned. A woman 2 rows over nudged her husband. Someone in the bleachers lifted a phone, recording. The short guard straightened. "Sir, I'm asking one more time." "You can ask all day," Marcus said. I'm not moving. The tall one smirked. Maybe you'd be more comfortable in the back. And there it was. Marcus knew that tone, knew what it meant. It wasn't about seating. It was about something older, something uglier, something that had followed him his whole life, in boardrooms, on bases, in the quiet moments when people thought he couldn't hear. He didn't respond. The air in the gym shifted. Then, from the back of the room, 6 men stood up, one by one. No uniforms, no badges, just squared shoulders, steady gazes, and the quiet confidence of men who had seen worse than this. Marcus didn't turn around. He didn't need to. He knew who they were, and the guards were about to find out.